Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on? It's me, Jay. Hope you're doing well in this Easter Eve. Um, Easter be in a couple of hours, and hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the Netflix show Tiger King that I recently watched like yesterday. Um, there's been a lot of talk about this because people are locked down in their houses due to COVID-19, and they're not able to go outside, and they've been just enamored with this television show, and I can clearly see why. Because this show is just it takes you on an emotional roller coaster. It follows the life of this man. His name is Joe Exotic. He's a collector of big cats. In other words, lions, tigers, and ligers, which are mixes of tigers and lions. And he lives in Oklahoma, and he has his own zoo. But it also follows the rivalry that he has with this animal rights activist who lives in Florida by the name of Carol Baskins. And this guy, Joe Exotic, to add to the fact that he's a big cat collector and he has a mullet, that's the two colored mullet, and he does meth and he deals drugs. To add to that, he also he's not only is he gay, he's in a polygamous marriage to two men that we meet on the show, Travis Maldonado and John Finley, who also he gets they met him when they were teenagers and he got them addicted to drugs, and we see the effects of the drug use on Finley. He loses he gets meth mouth, he loses his teeth, and with Maldonado he shoots himself. Spoilers. Um, but just when you think it couldn't get any weirder than that, the other woman, Carol Baskins, who's the enemy of Joe Exotic, I mean, they make videos against each other. They make songs about each other. Joe is a country singer on the side. Like, this is just so strange. And he made a song about Carol Baskins, who has this secret. She is a millionaire. She inherited the millions from her husband, who mysteriously disappeared, who supposedly had dementia and disappeared. But the rumor from Joe Exotic and his people is that Carol fed her, her other husband, her previous husband, Don Lewis, to the cats on the reservation. So Joe is going around spreading this rumor. Carol is then suing him for millions, which forces him to have to sell the rights to his park to another guy that's a big cat collector. This other guy that's a big cat collector also is a very weird person. Um, he runs a strip club where he brings in all these strippers and they strip on top of the animals. They take pictures and selfies and stuff with the animals. And it's just a crazy. And at one point, Joe Exotic, once in 2016, Joe Exotic was trying to run for president of the United States. In 2017, he was trying to run for governor of Oklahoma, and he almost won. And in his park, he has weapons stacked up by the hundreds. Like, he even says, there's a line in the show where he says, if anybody comes to try to take my cats away, I'm gonna shoot them like David Koresh shot at the federal troops in Waco in '93. So, so he was prepared for war, um, Joe Exotic. But it's like he has this cult around him, and the other guy too, um, Adel, another dealer in Florida. His first name is Bhagavagan, and he went to study with a guru in India. And he's heterosexual, and he brings in all these young girls. So to me, I just think this whole catch business is like just to bring in people. You know what I mean? Like potential lovers, like in Exotic's case, men, and in the case of these two other guys, women. And it's just like it draws them in because they're intrigued by the lifestyle of a cat breeder. Now, in the beginning of the series, Joe Exotic is behind bars and he's accused of murdering. I'm trying to murder Carol, putting a hit on Carol Baskins, and they should actually show his hitman as one teardrop in the eye. Easily murdered somebody, so they figure, hey, he's gonna murder Carol Baskins. But it's just so strange and weird, and what you see in this show, like, lets you know that it's almost like who's the real animals? Are the animals, or is Joe Exotic and Carol Baskins animals too? Is Bhagavan Adel animal? Is the other guy, the Cuban guy that movie Scarface is apparently based on? Is he an animal? You know, the people on the show are more animalistic than the animals on the show. I mean, this guy Joe Exotic has such a hold over his workers that you know one of them got their hand mauled off by a tiger, and they still continue to work for him as if it didn't even happen. And I hope it digs a little bit deeper into the psychological issues of Travis Maldonado, because when Travis Maldonado went to work for Joe Exotic, he was young. He was um, he had a lot of stuff going for him, and then all of a sudden he didn't anymore, and he was just in Exotic's web. It kind of reminds me of like R. Kelly, like how R. Kelly had that cult and stuff, and the cult of personality of Joe Exotic. He's such a charismatic figure that he's able to draw these people in. But even the people that are whistleblowing on him themselves are guilty of crimes like extortion, theft, credit card schemes. It just gets deeper and deeper. Like the more you get into it, I think at the end we might see. I haven't watched the whole thing, but I think in the end we might see a raid of the compound, a raid of the GW Zoo, and just like with the Tamaray compound of the cult leader Malachi York and Jim Jones and David Koresh in Waco, we might see that at the end of Tiger King. But the difference here is like this is like Waco meets Siegfried and Roy with a bunch of wild cats running around. It's just so strange, guys, and it's really drawn us in because you had to get weird. You had to get a little bit weirder. Netflix, you know what I mean? Like, uh, what you were putting out was not enough. You were being beaten out by the Mandalorian and all the Baby Yoda memes. So what do you come out with now to beat the Baby Yoda memes? You come out with um, Joe Exotic memes. Joe Exotic for president, right? We got one Joe running, Joe Biden. We forget about Joe Biden. We just want Joe Exotic, right? Peace. Guys, stay safe. Happy Easter.